Well, today I've got another Christopher Ward review for us. I know I've been having a bit of a run of Christopher Ward reviews lately, but this is a little bit different, and that's because it's my own personal Christopher Ward. I've had this for about a year now, and the reason I've not reviewed it is I wanted to wear it for at least a year, formulate my opinion on it, and also let you guys know what it's like long term, because most of the other Christopher Wards I get in for review, I have them for about 3 or 4 weeks before I do the review, whereas this one obviously I've had for well over a year now. Before we dive in, just a very quick public service announcement. Christopher Ward doesn't send watches to reviewers for free or in lieu of payment, and they don't pay reviewers for watch reviews either. This is my own watch, but I didn't pay full price for it. And I didn't get a discount because I'm a YouTuber. I wish I was that influential. If you're looking to add a Christopher Ward to your collection and you're not sure which one and you're not really in a rush to get it, I highly encourage you to sign up for their VIP emails. I know another email to clog up your inbox, but I think if you're interested in Christopher Ward watches, this is the most useful watch-related email you can sign up for. And I say that because first off, they regularly send discount vouchers, and they're not just token amounts. Here in the US, we get $125 off. I think it's about 100 quid in the UK. You can get these vouchers on email, and they'll also send them in the post if you sign up for their Loop magazine, which is a pretty cool magazine anyway. The second and probably most important reason to sign up for the email is they'll let you know when their sales start. Christopher Ward regularly sell off the display and customer return models. They have one of the best return policies in the entire watch industry, I think. Over time, they do collect watches and they'll sell these off at usually big discounts. And this is how I got the deal on my Christopher Ward, because people who sign up to their email get a head start on that sale. This watch retails for $1,095, but I got it closer to $800, and when I got it, it looked absolutely brand new. It didn't have the stickers and stuff on it, but it looked immaculate. So the next question is, why did I pick this particular model over all of the other Christopher Ward watches? Because this isn't even a model that I'd been sent in for review before. Well, for me, that's quite an easy question. When I ask to review Christopher Ward watches, I'll usually try and review new ones. Sometimes, like the last one, I'll review ones that I think I might not like, and then I'll give you the reasons why I personally don't like them, but why you might. For me, the C60 Trident Pro 600 is quintessentially Christopher Ward, a unique design that's rugged yet surprisingly slender for a 600-meter diver. For me, it's the full package. It just says Christopher Ward whenever I see it, and that's not because the name is also printed on the dial. So before we dive into the review, let's look at those all-important case measurements. I went for the 40mm version, so the case size is 40mm, very slender at 12.95mm. A lug to lug of 47.46mm spans my 7.2-inch wrist perfectly. The overall weight with the included bracelet is 176 grams, and as mentioned, it's a 600-meter water resistance, so more than you'll ever need. One of my favourite things about this watch is the case, and it uses Christopher Ward's light catcher platform. This is not an off-the-shelf case. Not only can you get this case in different sizes to accommodate your wrist, but it's one of the most comfortable dive watches I've owned. Seiko are legendary for creating wearable cases. This watch for me has captured that also. The design includes brushed and polished elements, and a slightly oversized crown that not only looks great, but is functional. In keeping with the name, the multi-finish case really does catch the light. The slight sloping of the lugs adds to the comfort on the wrist, here on my 7.2-inch wrist. The case also gives a unique look. It's unmistakably Christopher Ward, and it may pay respects to other watch designs, but it is not a copy of any. The watch looks good on most straps. You've seen it from the various B-roll shots here. I've tried it on a few, but honestly, this watch is most at home on the bracelet, and I'd highly encourage you to invest in that option if you can. Same goes for any of the other Christopher Ward watches as well. Not only does the bracelet match the case with a precision fit, but it has one of the best quick release systems that I've ever seen. The bracelet is comfortable to wear and easy to adjust using a pin and collar system. The highlight for me is the quick adjustment on the clasp, commonly known as the diver's extension. This is fantastic on a warm day. You can expand the bracelet a notch or two. This is a big advantage to me when I'm traveling. My wrist tends to expand and contract when I'm traveling, and this quick adjustment allows me to find a comfortable sweet spot. I've reviewed watches with divers extensions before, but most can be quite bulky. Rolex has a cool system on their bracelet, and I hear the Tudor Pelagos is the best in the business. I'm yet to experience that watch, so I tend to use the Christopher Ward clasp as the standard that I judge others by. The dial is framed by a glossy, unidirectional zirconia ceramic bezel. This is a deep blue to complement the dial and matches it perfectly. It also has lume, giving it a vibrant green, and for anyone playing along at home, this is grade X1 GL C1 Superluminova, the brightest lume in the business according to the Christopher Ward marketing. The bezel action is smooth and precise, zero play from notch to notch. Mike France always jokes that he has the second best bezel in the business after Rolex, and it is great, but I'm not sure I totally agree with that. I'm sure some of the Grand Seiko models could jostle for that number 2 position, but Christopher Ward never stopped trying to perfect this bezel. You could say it was verging on an obsession for them. The dial itself has a gorgeous glossy deep blue finish. This includes beautifully finished indices with brushed and polished elements. This is something we've become accustomed to with Christopher Ward watches, but nevertheless is impressive under the macro here. The hands have a similar brushed and polished elements. The hour hand looks like it could leap right off the dial and cut you with scalpel-like precision. The minute hand reaches all the way to the edge of the dial, allowing for quick time reading. Some of the best design hands in the watch game, and as I always say with Christopher Ward, this is simplicity done to perfection. All of the elements make sense. The minute hand perfectly covers the indices as it travels around the dial. The printing is sharp. All of the elements look simple from the surface, but they all make sense when you put them together. As you've noticed, this watch does have the Christopher Ward name at the 9 o'clock position, something I don't mind at all. If you're interested to know why the name is so prominent on the dial of Christopher Ward watches, I asked Mike France this exact question, and the story is honestly fascinating. I'll leave a link to that upload in the description. This watch retails for only $1,095, and even at full retail, I think it offers great value for money. Again, it's using the Sellita SW200, continuing that partnership that Christopher Ward has with Sellita. This will give you a reliable Swiss movement with a 38-hour power reserve. So clearly you can tell by now that I like this watch, and it's definitely one of the keepers in my collection. In fact, I think I've got my collection to a point now where a lot of the watches have stayed for a long time. If you've been listening to the podcast or following along on some of my other reviews, you'll know that at one time I was rotating my collection quite a lot, mainly so I could get watches in for review. But the watches I've got now, I've put a lot of thought into them, and I've built a collection that I'm quite happy with, and that collection includes this Christopher Ward, of course. So I've talked about all the things that I like, but is there anything I would improve on this watch? Well, out of the box, the watch was running a little fast for my liking, about 10 seconds a day. This watch isn't one of the growing number of Christopher Ward watches that is measured to COSC, although I would like to see a version of this watch that is. It didn't bother me too much because I put it on my own time grapher and knocked a few seconds off. I would encourage you not to try that at home if you don't know what you're doing. Take it to a watchmaker. Of course, 10 seconds is completely livable with. It's just that I'm a bit of a freak when it comes to watch timing, and 10 seconds is well within the tolerance for the movement and would mean that you only had to really set the time once a week. I know it's going to sound weird, but honestly, that is all I would improve with this watch. I think they've done a great job of it. Let me know what you think, though, in the comment section down below. We also have a Facebook group if you want to join in the conversation over there, and a podcast available on iTunes. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more reviews like this, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. I'll see you next time on Casual Watch Reviews. Thanks, guys. Bye.